Today I want to talk about feelings. Feelings, nothing more than... No, I'm not going to sing. Okay, so here's a question for you. Where do we feel our feelings? What's the answer? In the body. So, what do you do when your client can't feel their feelings? What do you do about that? How do you get them back into their body? On this video, I want to talk about 3 body awareness tips for you that you can use in working with clients. Now, some people just aren't all that tuned into what's going on in their bodies. You know, they live in their heads, and the reason they do that is to avoid their feelings. They've learned to kind of stay up here because it's safer. So if you ask the client, you know, how does that make you feel? They're going to tell you what they think. And if you ask them to notice what's going on in their body, you're going to get that look like, you know, cows at a passing train, the deer in the headlights look. They don't know. So if you've got what I consider a kinesthetically impaired client, they're just out of touch with what's going on in their body, you need to teach them how to feel their feelings in their body. This is going to help you to get better results in your session. One of the things that I do in my first session is I just test. I want to find out, you know, where they're feeling their feelings and what their body awareness is. And I want to condition the client to notice what's going on, those feelings and sensations that are happening in the body. So the way I do that is usually I use an element induction in the first session that tends to work for just about everybody. You can adapt it very easily for any client, any profile that you're working with. And then what I do is once I get them into hypnosis, then I stack these 3 body awareness exercises, and they kind of serve a multiple purpose. First of all, they act as deepeners because they're also a way of pyramiding the induction, and they're increasing awareness of feelings in the body, which is pulling them inside. It's a more of an inward attention, and I'm giving them the tools that they need to be able to work more effectively with me in regression. So let's talk about the first body awareness exercise, and I want to just extend a thank you to Marilyn Gordon for this technique. I believe she calls it a touch induction. I just call it a kinesthetic deepening technique because I use it as a deepener. First of all, you need permission from the client to touch, so make sure that you set this up before you do the induction. Do I have your permission to touch? And then tell them beforehand where you might touch them. So usually what I'll say to the client is it all right if I touch you during the session? And usually they nod, yeah, that's okay. And I say, okay, so what might happen is I might touch you on the forehead, I might touch you on the jaw, I might touch you on the shoulder, on the hand, I might touch you on the chest. Is that okay with you? And so I'll tell them all the places that I might touch, and I get their permission to do that specifically. So I've done that because I don't want there to be any surprises. Okay, they know that's going to happen. So I'm going to tell them everything ahead of time. Touch acts as a kind of nonverbal suggestion. And it has an effect of progressively relaxing the body when you're either moving it up or down the body. So I'll say to the client, as I touch you on the forehead, let the forehead relax, and I'll usually just move the head back and forth a little bit. What I'm doing is I want to check and see if their neck is relaxed. If it's not, then there's going to be some resistance when I try to move it. If it is relaxed, then the head will move freely. And if they're trying to help me, that's something else you want to watch. Okay, so I'll tell them, don't help me. You let me do all the work, because helping, that's down the line, that's going to become a problem for you. So teach them to be compliant. And then as I touch you on the jaw, let the jaw relax, relax, relax. Okay, and now as I touch you on the shoulders, and I'll touch both shoulders, release and let go. Let the shoulders relax. We carry so much on our shoulders. Just, you know, take the day off. Let those shoulders relax and become much more comfortable. And then I like to press on the hands. I'll press down on the client's hands and let the hands relax. Our hands do so much for us during the day, and this is time for you, time to do nothing. The more you can do nothing, the better you're going to feel. So just let those hands relax, relax, relax. Sometimes I'll even touch them on the knees, especially, you know, if they carry pain in the body, I might just touch the knees. It feels good. It feels really comforting. And I might even just squeeze their toes, depending on how tall they are. And it, again, this is always suited to what fits for the client. So once I've gone through that, so I've got this kind of downward relaxation motion, which is like a progressive relaxation, then I will repeat it. I will do it again. As I do that a second time, just let all that relaxation go much more deeply, or double it or whatever. So that is the kinesthetic deepening exercise. The second exercise is a body awareness exercise. Now this I got from 5-Path, and so if you are a 5-Path practitioner, this is just a variation of the 3 important things pattern, and this is bringing awareness to the body. So what I'll do is I'll ask the client to just bring their awareness to the bottoms of their feet and just the feelings of the sensations of their feet. Anything that might be touching the bottoms of the feet, touching the tops of the feet, any feeling of sensation, warmth or coolness, comfort or discomfort, but just that awareness of what might be touching the feet. Touching the feet, touching the feet takes you much deeper. So repeating those words, touching the feet, touching the feet, touching the feet. And then I move up to the feeling of the sensation of the pants, touching your legs. Now, if you got a woman in your chair and she's wearing a skirt, you don't want to say pants. I give my clients a blanket. It's a security blanket. It's also, if a woman is wearing a skirt, she's going to relax because she's covered. So I'll just say, the blanket touching your legs, blanket touching your legs, blanket touching your legs, or pants touching your legs, pants touching your legs, and that causes you to go deeper and deeper. And then I'll come up to the sleeves, sleeves touching your arms, sleeves touching your arms, sleeves touching your arms. And then to the back, pressing into the chair, and the sensation of the body, sinking into the chair, and the bottom pressing down in the chair. And just that awareness of the back pressing into the chair and your bottom pressing down reminds you that you're in the chair and going deeper relaxed with every gentle breath that you exhale. Now this is a wonderful technique. I want to thank Cal Banyan for this one, because you can eliminate all the fancy peaceful place or safe place imagery that you learned how to do in basic training, and you can anchor safety to the chair. So whenever your awareness goes to the awareness of your back pressing down or your butt pressing into the chair, it takes you deeper into hypnosis, and you're aware that you are safe and secure and going deeper right here in the room with me. So you can just anchor that safety to the chair. Now the third body awareness exercise I use is a breath awareness. So I've gone from a touch awareness, I've gone to an image awareness where they're imagining their feet and their pants and so on and so forth. And now what I want to do is bring their attention to their breath. So I'm also narrowing the focus down. This also makes a really good induction for subsequent events. So you just really teach them how to do this, bringing their attention to the breath. And so just place your awareness on the breath and begin to notice what it feels like to just let the breath come in and out. And then I narrow the focus down and just become aware of the sensation and the feeling of the breath going in and out of the nostrils. And you might notice that there's more awareness of the breath on one nostril than the other, because that's true for most people. We'll notice that the one nostril is more open than the other. So you might notice that one nostril is, allows more breath in than the other, and that's fine, that's normal. And there's no need to do or try, because, the body already knows how to breathe on its own. It's been doing that since the first breath you ever took. You might notice that as the breath comes in, there might be a sensation in the throat. You might feel a need to swallow. That's fine. You might notice, as the breath comes into the chest, as the lungs are filling, that the chest is expanding and relaxing, and noticing how far down, how deeply that breath can go, whether it's going down into the diaphragm and whether the rib cage is expanding or down into the belly. But just noticing how that happens all on its own without any need to do or try, just noticing how the breath goes in and out. And now here's where I will pace their breathing. I'll notice how the chest is rising and falling, and I'll match my pattern to that. So just notice how the breath is going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And just that awareness takes you deeper, deeper into hypnosis. And then once I've done that, then I'll have them just do a tour of the body and just notice if there's any area that there's any discomfort. And if there is, then I'm going to have them just imagine that they're breathing into that area and just sending that breath into that area where there's maybe a little tension or tightness, and allow that part of them to just relax and let go. If they have physical pain, that pain is allowed to be there. I'm going to use the word discomfort rather than pain, and I might even have them touch it. You know, the client needs us to touch the owie. If you've got a 5-year-old kid that just fell off the bike and they come running to mama, what does mom do? She kisses the owie, she touches the owie. So doing that is going to really have an impact. And physical touch calms the energy system of the body. So you can place your hand there. If they say, oh, my shoulders are really tense, you say, well, as I place my hand there, just let the shoulders relax, relax, relax. Or you can have them place their hand there. For example, maybe they've got some tension or tightness in their gut. Say, that's fine, put your hands there. And just let that breath go into the belly. And let that healing intention from your hands go into the belly, or whatever fits for the client. But touching the owie really works, okay? It elicits a natural healing response. So that's 3 body awareness exercises that you can use to get your clients out of their heads and into their bodies really quickly. And you can just do that in the first session. And then once they've learned how to do that, you can use 1, 2, or all 3 if you like in subsequent sessions, because they act as reminders. Oh, I need to be in the body. So there's the kinesthetic induction, the touch induction or touch deepener. There's the imagining the feet, the legs, the pants, the sleeves, touching, and then there's the breath, becoming aware of the breath. And so narrowing the focus down is really going to help to bring them into the body. Okay, that's it for this time. I hope that you found a couple of tips here that are going to help you to kind of tweak your technique and get some better results with your clients. You know, one thing I will tell you is that the longer I do this work, the more I realize that the success is in the setup. So the more energy you put into setting the client up, the less work you're going to have to do on the back end when you get them into the events, because they're already going to be push buttons. So there's a 4th tip for you today. Okay, I hope you got something you can use. Please leave your comments in the forum. I want to hear from you. And until next time, this is Wendie signing off. See you soon.